So we have a special case of exclusive ownership pertinence. So if a cadastral unit has exclusive ownership, i.e. one-to-one fraction of another cadastral a cadastral unit, then a jurisdiction may have provisions for merging the cadastral units together. In Scotland, it has section 12.3. Now, these are quite powerful discretionary rules and should be treated with care, as not all ownership is equal, as should probably be clear now, as we've discussed rights and ownership rights a number of different times. So where the cadastral unit and the ownership pertinent have the same right type, then merging would result in a known right type. So for example, if you have a solum right that is merged with a solum pertinent, you'll get a solum right. And if you have a strata right with a strata pertinent, you'll get a strata right. That seems nice and simple. But what happens when you mix the right merging of exclusive pertinence? So what's the nature of the ownership right when we merge an ownership of solum with a strata pertinent? And there's two answers to this, depending upon the spatial relationship of the strata pertinent to the solum. So we could see a scenario where the ownership pertinent is within the volumetric implications of the main plot. So here is our principal land, and it has a volume of space taken out of it for a block of flats. But someone either buys the party who owns the principal land, also might own the top floor strata. And they want to reintegrate the two together, or it could be that the whole block is just being demolished. And so ultimately, using the section 12.3 rules, you can integrate the one into the other, and you result in a new element for the principal land where that volume of space has been reincorporated into the volumetric implications of that principal land. However, you could also have an example where the ownership pertinent is out with the volumetric implications of the main plot. So you have your principal land, which is here, but you also have this strata pertinent, which is there. And then you get this hybrid thing. What is it? Well, it's not really principal land because the rules are different. You've got some strata element outside of it. So there's uncertainty surrounding the actual nature of this right. Now, this isn't just an academic exemplar. This is reality. This occurs for Pends. So the Pend is a scenario which occurs in terraces. So essentially, if you have an access to a back alley or a road that goes through terraces, you see this kind of floating owned volumetric area, which is kind of separated from the ownership relationships. And we'll show this by modeling it. So here's our Pend scenario from cadastral units. We have principal land LRC 001, LRC 002, and LRC 003. So LRC 001 is owned by natural X, LRC 002 is owned by natural Y, and LRC 003 is owned in common by each of these two cadastral units, i.e. it's a shared plot. But from LRC 003, there is a tenement has been separated that represents the volumetric implications of the Pend, and that's LRC 004. And that is owned exclusively by LRC 002. So you can see that this terrace is a one that has the ownership interest on that part of the Pend. So that's how it's modelled using our rights representation. And this is how it would look in reality. So we've got our shared passageway, we've got property Y, property X, and property Y extends over that shared passage. The nice thing here is that what we've done is we've articulated that very cleanly using our rights modelling.